Fuck. Hey, B, man. It's been 10, 11 months, and we've been following your exploits. Do I go as far as to say ex-powerlifter?
I wouldn't go that far just yet, but definitely leaning more towards the arm wrestling stuff. It's a lot easier on the body, guys. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's been a pretty successful swap over, though. Like, I mean, I don't know what your like contractual stuff is, but like, are we allowed to talk about you winning or losing, or?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. So Brandon beats Larry Wheels. Like, what? How good? It's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I've only been arm wrestling for a year and a half, in between year and a half, 2 years, and the opportunities that have been presented to me in such a short period of time, really amazing. It's crazy. When you get the invite, you're like so excited at first, like hell yeah, I can't believe this. Like I'm gonna be on the biggest card in the world, like Larry Wheels, like, and then you're like, why though? Like I haven't had enough time. Like I need. But obviously it's just like anything, like I'm a competitor. You get a little nervous when you're far out, and then as you get closer and closer, you're a little more nervous. But when it comes time to game day, it's no different than executing a big squat on the platform. Just all the training comes together, focus, and do what you're trained to do, right? So it's a little different in arm wrestling. Obviously it's a more combative sport where different moves counter other moves, and there's shit talking, and it's a person, whereas to powerlifting, it's whether or not you can move the weight, and it's the same weight every day on every bar, no matter what. But obviously there's a little variance in there. Maybe you didn't get enough sleep, or you got extra sleep where, you can feel stronger or weaker. But yeah, man, it's been quite the crossover.
Yeah.
How'd you get there? Like what happened? Were you in a gym and some guy said, hey, come over here and let's have arm wrestle, or was,
Actually my gym, when I still had the two gyms, so Eric Spoto and a couple of other arm wrestlers train at my gym, and they were like, hey, can we start having arm wrestling practice here? And I was like, yeah, no problem. So this was probably a little over 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. They were going in, having their arm wrestling practice. I would come in every now and then. I had zero interest. I was still, I was recovering and focused on, I was recovering from my knee surgery and focused on powerlifting and getting back into strength. And then when I got hit on my Harley, that really changed what my plans were, because I kind of wasn't, all the plans I had were kind of ticking away from me. So, squatting big weight is going to be out of the question, at least for a very long time. Deadlifting those big numbers and all that. So, then the arm wrestling started to seem a little more appealing to me. And, I would come into practice and, do, a little bit here or there. But again, like I would be so sore after a practice. If any of you guys ever arm wrestle, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So where I'm like, this is crazy. I don't want to do this shit. Like, it's like, it was like the first year was just pure hell of trying to recover. And then after that, then it became a lot more fun. So, like I said, I was almost forced into it, with the injuries and stuff from powerlifting, which I'm still dealing with today, to be honest, and from the motorcycle accident and everything else. So,
and that's been like 5 years, though. 5 years,
No, 2 years.
2 years.
Because I'm sorry, it's 7 now, 2.5 years.
2.5 years. Yeah, 2018 wasn't it when you did the
2019?
2019, yeah. 2016. Yeah. What did you do in 2016? There was something in
2016 is when I was like running way too many drugs and I coughed up blood on the platform, and took a little break then, and I ended up like tearing my shoulder in the off-season training and things like that. 2016 was a kind of a roller coaster, but I took all of 2016 or second half of 2016 and all of 2017 off powerlifting. And I just got healthy, got in shape, and then fucked it all up and got out of shape again and got super big, super strong. So, just a nice little roller coaster ride right there. And then, 2018 is when I was making my return to the platform. And that's when I was prepping for Kern. And early 2018 is when I originally started to tear my patella tendon in my right knee in the quad. And I pushed through that prep. I squatted 975 pounds there. And then right after that is when I took like a 6-7 week break. Thought my knee was good. I'm shooting growth hormone and peptides into it, thinking it's going to be fine. And then I prepped for Big Dogs in Australia, which I re-injured it. Whatever injury I had, I made worse in that prep. I didn't squat like the last month leading into that meet. because just trying to not, I couldn't afford it to get hurt. You know, it cost me a lot of money to go to Australia. Tickets were already bought and everything. And then I went out there and squatted 1,008 pounds, and the knee didn't tear, luckily, because that could have been a nightmare getting home. And then that's what I came back. So now it's going into 2019. I'm prepping for Kern 2019, where I'm on track to break the all-time world record. I was on track to be the first guy to pull 1,000, I mean, squat 1,000, pull 900, but Dylan Hellraiser had done it maybe a couple of weeks prior to meet, which I was, super happy for him, but obviously I really wanted that. So that kind of sucked. Anyways, I'm prepping for Kern 2019. And then I tear my quadricep completely off the bone and tear the patella tendon. And that's when, that was a rough one. I was with a 925-pound squat. I'm sure you guys seen the video. It tore when I was in the hole. I still stood up with it with one leg somehow, miracle. It's got to be a world record pistol squat. And then I had that knee surgery. I was recovering from that. That took about 4 months before I was able to, I was really moving around again and squatting to depth with body weight. My knee was still real swollen and limited range of motion, and still doing the physical therapy work. And I had opened we had the big gym now in Las Vegas, because my other gym was in North Las Vegas. And I was riding my Harley to work one day, and I got T-boned at 50 miles an hour, which cracked my pelvis, crushed my vertebrae in my spine, tore my erector, cracked my left elbow, just destroyed me. You know what I mean? It was kind of like the end of strength training, at least for the moment, right? And then that's what got us to where we were before this. Then recovering for that is where I started kind of really picking up arm wrestling. And again, arm wrestling still at this point, I didn't really care about it that much. I still had fun doing it. I didn't know that I had I'm not sure what kind of potential I had or how much interest I had in it, because that elbow pain was immense. So I was still mainly focused on powerlifting training, doing 4 workouts a week, squat, bench, deadlift, overhead press. It's kind of how I always train my whole life, how I always will train the rest of my life, I'm sure. But I was really serious still more about powerlifting, and then just doing secondary arm wrestling work. And I was prepping for a meet in Phoenix, early 2021. And my knee started, I'm sorry, not my knee. My knee was fine. My right knee's fine now. It was my left hip area was really starting to give me problems. And I've had this injury since the motorcycle accident. When everything tore, something didn't heal properly. My the atrophy in my left glute is immense. It's visual. You can see how much bigger my right glute is to my left. My left glute just won't fire. I have to really do extra work with it to get it to kind of pre-fatigue before workouts to kind of get it engaged. I would see a physical therapist, do dry needling, all this stuff to try to get the glute engaged. Something was off. Just couldn't really put my finger on it, because the pain was kind of moving around. And one day would hurt at one spot, one day hurt another. So it was probably frustrating for, a PT to help me out, things like that, because I didn't really know where the pain was coming from. Anyways, I was prepping for a meet. I did a 685-pound squat for 3x3, which kind of started to aggravate it. I was all right. I started getting strong again, and it started hurting more as I was getting bigger and puffier. The pain was getting worse and worse. And then I did a 635-pound squat for 7 or 8 or something like that reps. The last one coming out of the hole, it popped an audible pop. And I wasn't sure, I thought I tore something in my hip. That's kind of what it felt like. So, I racked the weight. I'm like, damn it, and my side's already swelling up. And, I knew something happened. I just didn't really know what, but I was still walking and I could still squat my body weight. So I'm like, maybe I'm okay. Who knows? I went and had an MRI done on my hip, and it wasn't, there was no tear, at least not where we MRI'd it, not my hip. There was nothing torn. It was really bad bursitis and tendonitis is kind of what my specialist diagnosed it as. And he just said, dude, it sucks. You're going to be in pain, but it's one of those things you can't really do anything for. You just you got to rest. And I'm an idiot. So rest isn't something that's going to happen. Right. And he knew it. He was like, you're going to make this a lot worse than it is. And sure did. I did. So, I inject it with cortisone, starts feeling good. I start training again. Cortisone wears off about a month or so, and then the inflammation's back. And then I go back to him, get another cortisone shot. I reduce the amount of training, but I'm still squatting and doing movements and stuff like that with the leg and hip. Then one day in arm wrestling practice, I dipped down to pin someone, and my hip, it made that poppy, and I was like, oh no. like it crunched loud. I was like, this is something. I think I may just made it way worse. But at this point, I already had the MRI. I already told it wasn't a tear; it was a bursitis. So that's what's in my head. I just kind of just start resting now. I'm not training legs at all. I'm just solely focused on arm wrestling. That's around this time is when I got challenged by Dave Depew, King of California. It was like mid 2001. I went up there. I had a ton of success against Dave Depew with 3-0. That's when I got challenged by Larry Wheels for King of the Table. So at this point, I don't really even care about the hip glute issue.
Yeah.
I'm just like, all right, balls wall arm wrestling. So I was still doing powerlifting movements. I just wouldn't squat. I would do like leg extension, leg curls and things like that. And then I was able to deadlift still. I eat some days off the floor and some days off blocks. It didn't really aggravate it too much. But it definitely felt swollen after those. I knew it wasn't probably smart, but I still did them anyways because, like I said, I'm an idiot. But working really hard on bench and overhead and things like that, and then just to complement my arm wrestling training. And then now I'm doing all the boring arm wrestling wrist movements, cupping, rising, supinating, just pronating and stuff that's very boring to watch, and but really useful in arm wrestling, right? So I was prepping for Larry. And, I'm taking this prep very serious. I'm doing 10 workouts a week. My overall strength workouts in the morning, those are about an hour long. And then in the evenings, about a 2.5 hour arm and wrist workout only, 6 days a week for that. And
Wow.
I took this very serious. I wasn't about to go all the way to Dubai to get my ass kicked by Larry. That wasn't gonna happen. So I knew that they picked me because of our backgrounds, both coming from the strength world, and Larry really needs a win because he lost his first 2 super matches, right? And I think that in their head, I was like a good opponent. I looked the part, similar background strength, but not good enough to beat Larry, where Larry would be able to beat me. He's been arm wrestling twice as long as I have, so that I knew that was their plan, and I knew I was not going to allow that to happen. Whether I broke my arm or not, I was going to do anything I could. So prepping for Larry, about a month out prepping for Larry, my hip popped again. Like something in there was just off, and it's kind of making this crunchy noise now. So I go in, load it up with cortisone, say, okay, we'll deal with this when I get back from Dubai. Because I don't, what am I going to do? Not go to Dubai because of a hip injury? Like that's not going to happen. You guys know me well enough. So we go out there, deal with that horrible 20-hour travel day out there on the plane for forever. We're on the plane for like 17 hours total to get out there. And
we've heard this story. This sounds very familiar, like your trip to Australia.
Oh man, this was not okay. Getting home was worse, but going to was actually pretty easy. Like going to we flew from Las Vegas to San Francisco, which is an 1.5-hour flight. Now you have to deal with all the freaking mass Nazis about pulling over your nose and all that, and going to San Francisco. But then from San Francisco to Dubai was a 15-hour flight. They were pretty cool on that flight, man. They didn't bother me at all.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was awesome. Emirates airline, they're cool as hell. Definitely would do that again, right?
Yeah, right.
But the flight home was horrible. I guess we'll get into that a little bit later. But so I get the cortisone injection before I go to Dubai. I'm out there in Dubai. What do you mean? My hip doesn't bother me at all at this point. I'm so focused on the match with Larry. I'm so excited to be out there. I was, just that's all I cared about. My hip didn't hurt. And then and when me and Larry were pulling in the 3rd round of our match, you see me come up on the table and drop back down. When I drop back down, boom, pop, like the worst pop I've had yet. And this time I can kind of pinpoint it better. It's coming radiating from like more like towards my butt area. So like kind of where like the glute ties in and wraps around into the your hip area. Like it's just kind of a weird spot. But I walked over to my wife and told her my hip just popped. And she's like, how bad is it? I'm like, not bad enough. I was like, I'm going to win this match. So obviously, if you guys seen the match, you can find it on my YouTube or Larry's YouTube page. It went
Sick.
my favorite. It was 4-2 me. Came from behind, which I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I knew Larry had a ton of power, and I knew he had no gas tank. And I knew that I trained very, very hard for endurance, doing crazy long marathon workouts, crazy hand and wrist work in a rice bucket, torturing myself. So I knew I was definitely going to have the edge in that, and it's exactly what happened. First round, he was a ton. Second round, I made a mistake. He got the pin. And then after that, it was a wrap. I pinned him 4 in a row. So, it was an awesome experience. But, the trip was kind of, at that point, after it was over and the excitement wears off, okay, now I'm realizing, okay, I did something serious. Like this is extremely uncomfortable at this point, to where walking was becoming an issue. And then we deal with our flight home. Now, mind you, everyone from Larry Wheels camp is super cool. I have nothing but good things to say about all of them. They use a travel booking agency to book the flights and stuff. So the flights and everything are out of their hands. I agreed to it anyway, so it's my fault no matter what. The flight home was a nightmare. We flew from Dubai to Greece, which was a 5-hour flight. And then we had only a 2-hour layover in Greece. So it wasn't like you can go do anything. You're just sitting there in the airplane for 2 hours, just wasting time. Get on another plane from Greece to Newark, which is in New Jersey, which is a 10-hour flight. So 10-hour flight to New Jersey. We landed in New Jersey at midnight. Now I got to find an Uber from New Jersey to New York City to JFK, which is like a $200 Uber, about an hour and a half drive. At midnight. So we do that, and then we have a 10-hour layover. So I don't know, if you know anything about New York right now, but it's not a place I want to be. So we were just, it's not like we're going to go out and like see the city while we're killing time. And plus we're miserable. We're sweating and hot and carrying our luggage around. Just wanted to get home and go to bed, and lay in our own beds. So, we get to New York, and then our flight from New York to Las Vegas, like a 6-hour flight. That was probably the hardest flight out of all of them. I'm not gonna lie, that last 6 hours, it was cold outside, so they had the heater on the plane, and they want us to wear a freaking mask with the heat on the plane. It's so hot, I can't breathe. I'm literally just covered, drenched in sweat. Flight attendant was just a dick, just coming back at me nonstop. Here, put your mask over your nose. Man, I can't wait till this stuff's all over, dude. I cannot. These people, they get this little bit of power, and they just want to just tell you what to do, tell you what to do. But anyways, at this point, my temper is running low or very high. I'm very exhausted. My wife's like, just babe, we're almost home. We're gonna be home. Just remember that. And anyway, so we get home, or we land in Las Vegas, which was like, amazing to be home. I had set foot on, home turf. And go home. My friend picks us up from the airport, smoked a joint on the way home. I like blinked and we're already at my house because I hadn't smoked weed in 10 days. There's no weed at all in Dubai. It's a Muslim country. So it was it was cool. It was good to be home. But here I am at home. My hips, there was a lot of discoloration and bruising in my hip, which isn't always mean, but it's usually an indicator of a tear. And so I got an MRI actually tomorrow to know what's going on and what I actually did. But when I saw the specialist, I told him, he watched my arm wrestling match, and I told him actually when I hit it and when I heard it and he saw the movement I made, he was like, dude, it's your glute. He's like, it's your gluteus medius. That's I guarantee you that's what's torn. And it's what tore in your motorcycle accident, which has never healed. And he's almost positive of it, but there's no way of knowing without an MRI. So obviously we booked the MRI, see how bad the tear is, and then we'll reevaluate and see what we need to do for treatment. I'm, praying it's not another surgery. Surgery is not cheap, guys. My last knee surgery cost me like 10 grand. I hope I don't have to deal with that again, but if I do, I do. You know what I mean? I need to get this healed because at this point it's compromising my my normal style of life. Getting off the toilet and things like that is kind of a nightmare at this point. But if I'm just up walking upright, and not really bending over, no pain, it's completely fine. That's what's weird about it. It's one of those weird injuries where I still want to train. I can still like arm wrestle a little bit on the table as long as I don't dip low below the table. And but that's kind of the way I arm wrestle. So it's just tough. And but I'm confident, or I'm not. I don't know for a fact, but I'm pretty confident it's not something that needs to be repaired surgically. I just, with the way I'm able to move and things like that, hopefully it's one of those things where it's going to be like PRP injections, or maybe you have to go to stem cells and kind of just resting it, which to be honest, I'm okay with doing this. I'm at a point in my life where I don't necessarily need to be squatting all the time right now. I'm sure my knees and my hips can use the break. So, if I prolong this little period of not squatting, letting all that hill up, it's, you should do that anyways. And sometimes your body forces you to do it. So
maybe a year off will do you good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So taking some time off the hip and then really just mainly focus on the arm wrestling of the upper body work, which, let's be honest, that's a lot more fun anyways, right, guys? So, I'm not mad at it completely. I obviously wish I wasn't dealing with it, but it could be a lot worse.
I remember us talking last time. You said when you just started arm wrestling that like you could only arm wrestle like once a week or like once every like from that forearm
month.
pain
Once a
month, like
Yeah.
just crazy. And so now you're doing what, 6 days a week of like arm and wrist training? Like that's crazy. How have you done that? Is that just increase the frequency slowly?
Oh, I mean, think about the first time you went to the gym and had a real squat day.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You're probably walking like a Bambi for a month, right? You know,
yeah.
So very similar. It just takes acclimation. Your body will acclimate to anything you put it under. Our bodies are super resilient. You know, they'll literally do whatever you force them to do. So, you know, I just continued with the arm work and got more and more acclimated to it and recovering better and better. And I'm a huge proponent on like not icing or doing any like anti-inflammatories.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to aid my body in that, because it's like taking testosterone. When you take testosterone, your body stops naturally producing it, because it's like, oh, we have all this artificial testosterone. Why would I produce more? No different when dealing with inflammation. If you take anti-inflammatories, you're always icing. Your body's like, oh, I don't really need to work on reducing this inflammation because I know the ice is coming.
Yeah. Yeah, so it knows it's going to get help doing it. So why would it try as
I
hard?
say that for like the week out. You know what I mean? Like when you're a couple weeks out and like now we're not worried about getting our body acclimated. We're worried about feeling good for the damn competition.
Yeah.
That's the time to train. I do the same thing in powerlifting. I try not to ice ever too much. And then like the last week or two, ice baths, all the icing I could do.
Nice.
Deal with the inflammation, but I really want my body to be able to handle that on its own. And I really think it's paid off. You know, I really do. Because I'm a super healer, man. Like that's, you know, I've always recovered from things super quick. I don't know if it has anything to do with this or it's just my genetics or, you know, whatever it is, but I like to think that it aids in it for sure.
Yeah. I mean, so with arm wrestling, you've almost 18 months. You've gone like is there a world arm wrestling championships? Like, is there like
Oh, guys. Okay. So as amazing as me and Larry Wheels have been in the world you're familiar with, we are on the bottom of the totem pole in this world of arm wrestling.
So, I was going to ask, I thought maybe you'd peaked with the Larry Wheels.
Definitely peaked in terms of viewership, right? But definitely nowhere near close to my ceiling. Probably a decade away. Like literally, I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
It's mind you, we're dealing with tendon strength rather than muscle strength. Tendons take very, very long to build up. They actually get stronger as you get older. As like when you start to decay muscle as you get older, you don't ever decay tendons. Tendons keep getting stronger and stronger. So it's definitely the longer you're in it, the better off you are.
Yeah, it's that old man strength.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why Larry originally got into arm wrestling, which, you know, I follow Larry Wheels' channel. That's what he definitely helped peak my interest in it, right?
Yeah.
He was just saying, man, you can be, you know, 40, 50 years old, maybe even older, and be one of the top guys in the entire world. That's crazy. Beating 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds all the time. Yeah. So it's definitely one of those sports that favors the longevity. You know, of course, like assuming you didn't completely destroy your body, and you know, there's always factors, but it's one of those things that I feel like in 5 years I'll look back at how strong I am now and I'll laugh at it. You know, it's kind of like when I first started powerlifting. Like, as long as I can't wait to squat 700 pounds. Oh my god, when you squat 700, you're like the man. You know, and then, you know, I went to 1,000. Like, and then I laughed at, like, you know, imagine 700. I could probably squat 700 right now with my hurt hip and glute. You know.
Yeah. So in terms of arm wrestling, is it almost like powerlifting? How there's like the invitational side of things where you get like big viewership, and then there's the amateur side of things where people build up experience, etc. And you've almost sort of just like leapfrogged the amateur stuff, or
sure. So, you know, arm wrestling, what is amateur and what is pro mean? All that means is, did you get paid for it, or is there prize money on the line? That's the difference between amateur and pro in any aspect of life, in any sport, right? So when you enter a tournament, arm wrestling tournament, you can enter as an amateur or pro. Amateur would be no opportunity for prize money. Pro would be opportunity for prize money. Unfortunately, they don't have like a set standard yet. Like once you've entered pro, you can no longer go back to amateur. Guys go back and forth all the time. One thing I don't like about it, but I have a feeling that it's kind of getting phased out. Mind you, arm wrestling is a little blimp right now. It's growing. I'm watching it grow. It's amazing to see. It's almost like when I first got into powerlifting 10 years ago. It's like super underground, a little more unorganized. Just kind of learning how things go at events, and they get better and better each time. Kind of like just like powerlifting was. Now powerlifting, they got meets with, you know, they're giving out 50 to 100 grand. You know what I mean, in terms of multiple different cash prizes. So arm wrestling, I think we'll get to that point. I think it's more entertaining to watch than powerlifting. Let's be honest, it's all about your audience. If no one wants to watch it, there's no money to be made.
Yeah.
You know?
I
So,
I feel like arm wrestling could get to the point of like like darts. Like you go to a darts world championships, it's fucking huge. It's just everyone in the middle of a pub, like having a mean time.
yeah. So American arm wrestling is a lot different than like European arm wrestling. American arm wrestling is more like bar sport, like darts, like you say, where a lot of the events are held at bars and guys drink during the event, have a good time. Obviously,
Sounds
that's
good to me.
right up my alley. The Europeans take it a little more serious, like a little different style. Again, mind you, I'm an infant in this, so I'm still learning, right? And I just hear what I hear. Like it's not like I've been to Europe and like hung out with those guys and pulled with them, right? So I'm just going off what I've been told. But yeah, there's big tournaments in the United States. There's bigger tournaments in Eastern Europe and things like that. Like in Turkey, there's a huge one coming up in Turkey, which is an invitational. People get invited to do a super match. It's not a tournament. So let me clarify that. There's an arm wrestling, you have tournaments and then you have super matches. Tournaments are tournaments where brackets, guys go up and then they go against each other, and then you can have guys from different weight classes pull each other at the end. Like the winner of each weight class can like go and pull against each other.
Nice.
There's a lot of ways to like mix up how people can win prize money and things like that. And then there's and that favors a different type of arm wrestler. That favors the more the Larry Wheels type, who's super powerful, goes, hauls ass, and then gets a nice like 10-minute break till his next match. Where super matches are two guys against each other, and it's either best of 3, 5, or 6. Obviously that favors someone that pulls like me, that's more of an endurance defensive puller, because I get a chance to wear the opponent out and then do kind of do what I need to do. So yeah, there's those, right? So there's big tournaments all over the world that have a lot of respect. There's especially in Europe, like there's a bottom 8, top 8. You guys may have heard of that, maybe not. But those are like on, at least you have like a month gap in between each one, and at the end that's the way that tournaments run. But there's a huge one coming up in Turkey. Like I've been saying, it's a bunch of super matches. A lot of guys from the West are being brought out there to compete against guys in the East. And that's probably the biggest one that I'm aware of right now. There could be more. Could be an arm wrestler listening. They're like, no, there's this and that. Could be true. And then, but Larry Wheels' promotion, which is King of the Table, is by far the biggest super match promotion that there is. Like, in terms of biggest production and things like that, and most viewership and money to be made, in terms of whatever you agree with in your contract. Mind you, they do a pay-per-view, so it's more like almost like a old school, it's like UFC in like the early 2000s type thing.
Yeah.
Or the pay-per-view is cheap. It's like $5 to $8 depending on when you buy it. So it's going after the masses, and it's awesome, man. It was the coolest thing I've been a part of. That's for sure. You know what I mean? I Big Dogs 3 and King of the Table are like neck and neck, are the 2 coolest things I've ever been a part of.
So what are the rules? I mean, everyone here's arm wrestled. Jackson, you've arm wrestled before, haven't you?
Dude, I honestly, that's one of my claims to fame, is that I won the arm wrestling tournament at high school.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I won like points for, how you have like house points and shit when you're at high school. That was what I was like. Everyone thought I was the man for like 2 hours, and then I was no one again.
Nice. So what are the rules? Brandon, what are the rules? Obviously, you can't your elbow can't leave the table. That's as far as I know. Right? What else?
That's kind of it, man. Like it's you keep one hand on the peg and one elbow on the table. You can move all around the elbow pad and all that. And I mean, there's and then those are like the set rules, like what it is, right? And then depending on the federation or the organization that's running the event, the rules can change. Those are always the same. But then there's different rules about where your shoulder height's allowed to be, like comparisons to the table. There's different rules on how you set up, what kind of grip is initiated by you and the other opponent, what kind of grip the ref will initiate, what needs to happen in order for the strap to be initiated. They all vary. I'm telling you, there's you can make it 1,000 different ways depending on how you want it to go and what everyone agrees on. So that's what's kind of neat about it too. But King of the Table has its own set of rules, and those are what they're going to be as long as that event continues, as far as I'm concerned, which is those rules favor the audience. None of they don't want you playing around trying to get a grip for too long. It's more that you get to the strap quicker, because once you're in the strap, you know what I mean, the match is going to happen no matter what. There's no slipping or anything like that. So especially an untrained eye audience watching guys playing around like, well, they've been doing this for a minute already. What's going on? I don't even want to lie. Then boom, the match is over right away. So it's not as user friendly when events like that. So I think that King of the Table, Core Sports, Larry Wheels' event, they have definitely come up with this rule set to make it favorable for the audience to watch, which I actually don't mind it at all.
That's
I
the
like
key.
the rules like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
like
got to get the
way
audience
like
engaged. That's where powerlifting needs to go as well. Like audience,
Yeah.
audience.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when there's like a big tournament where you got, 100 people or plus involved, there's different rule setting where there's no time to play around like that, where like they're way more strict about it. You on the table, grip up, and then it's kind of, try to get it done quick because they're trying to move it along and get on to the further matches, which I like that too. Again, it's just, I'm so green and that none of it,
It's
I
just
don't
fun.
have a negative. I'm having a good time. I'm like, what are the rules in this one? Okay, cool. I'm going to do my best to stay within those rules and go, and it's not like I have so many years of training a certain way to where like, well, that rule doesn't favor me because I've been training this way for, a decade. It's like, no, I've barely been doing this shit. I'm down to do it either way.
Yeah, it's like doing your first meet. It's like it's fun.
Yeah,
You're just
it's all the
doing
same.
what
We're
you're
just
doing.
excited to be there.
Yeah.
Right. We're just happy to get some white lights.
What are some tips? Because Jackson, you probably got a score reunion coming up in about 5 years, eh? So
Hey, sign me up. I'm keen. I'm looking for another competitive outlet.
What are some pro tips you got for us, Brendan?
Well, so I've been lifting weights since I was 12 years old. I'm 33 now, long time, right? Never in my life have I done a wrist curl. Never in my life. Why would I?
Yeah.
It wouldn't benefit me in anything. When I was younger, I just wanted to be a big old jack tatted juice head and beat the hell out of people at the bar. And then powerlifting, right, not much. And I wanted to have the highest total in the whole world. At no point did any of those did this mean anything at all. And then the only everything else I've done has been very small, short, violent strokes. So didn't really benefit me in arm wrestling, right? But here I am, trained forever. I got pretty muscles and shit. And you look at, and there's guys that are half my size that can rip me across the table. Why? Because they've been training these certain movements, getting those tendons so strong for so many years, right? And if I were you guys, I would just why not? You never know. One day you might want to be an arm wrestler. Just start hitting those wrist curls. You know what I mean? And when you hit those hammer curls, really try to end with rising at the top. And when you do make that transition to arm wrestling, which I think a lot of strength athletes will do as they get older, you're going to have a leg up. You'll have a leg up on everyone.
Yeah.
But I feel like, that sounds like the way it might go, especially if you peak so late, like even with powerlifting, in theory, if you had a perfect run, you peak at like mid 30s, maybe 40, like Milanichev or someone,
True. Yes. Like
So,
stand
like,
effort.
Stand efforting. Yeah, exactly. It takes time to build strength. So then if it takes a bit longer to build arm wrestling strength, then it's probably the natural progression if you still want to stay competitive at something.
It's all about miles, right?
Yeah.
It's all about how many miles you have on you. Like, there's like Blake Taylor, who just started powerlifting, a year and a half or 2 years ago, who's just an absolute mutant.
Yeah.
Hitting huge numbers, 2,200 pound raw total already. And he did that in a short 2 years of training. How's he able to do that? Well, he didn't have any miles on him, and he's just a genetic freak and worked hard in the gym his whole life for other things. But then when he really started focusing on arm wrestling, he catapulted up quick. Dylan Hellraiser is another one. Absolute genetic mutant. That kid is just built for strength. And I literally been training since I was 12 years old, strength training since I was 12 years old. Powerlifting, it took me, like 7 years, 8 years to get to the total that I had. Dylan Hellraiser did it in 2 years of training.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just, he didn't have the miles on him and he was able to push it harder and he's bigger, and things like that. So it's just anything in arm wrestling, right? Like a really good arm wrestler, world champion arm wrestler, everyone that knows. One of the best guys in North America is Todd Hutchinson. He didn't start arm wrestling until he was like 35. And here he is, and smashing full still to this day. And he's an older man. So it's one of those things that's miles. I think I'm lucky that I started at 32. That I didn't have really any miles on my elbows at all, but I had all this extra strength from all the strength training that I've done. And then and I have access to all of the right people because of my strength background. I'm friends with Devin Larrett, like guys that they would never talk, like, of course they're good guys. They would talk to and help a guy that's a year and a half in arm wrestling, but they're definitely not going to fly out to Vegas to come work with me and things like that if I didn't have my strength background. I wouldn't be invited to do King of the Table with Larry Wheels if I didn't have my strength background. So I think I started right at the perfect time.
Did Sorry, I was going to say, you must have beaten Larry at shit talking. Like, is there a big, like, is it like
Oh.
UFC where there's like a big shit
No,
talk at the start to build the atmosphere?
You seen the video?
This is why I love arm wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, arm wrestling is it's a combat sport and a strength sport. So if the strength gap is too big, it doesn't matter about the combat. You can be the most technical arm wrestler in the world and have all the moves. If the dude just clamps on you, you can't get out of his hand, pins you to the table, it's over. Then that's a strength sport, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you're close in strength, and it's a close, I'm not sure what the percentage is, but if you're close enough in strength, now it's a combat sport. Now it's who's got the right move, who can trick the other guy, make him think he's doing something, and he's really doing something else. Just like in jiu-jitsu, you bait somebody, trying to leave, like, it looks like you're leaving something open, but in reality, you have a counter already set up. So I love it, man. It's so much fun, and you have so much to learn. You can be the strongest guy in the world. It doesn't mean you're going to be the greatest arm wrestler in the world. If there's a guy close enough to you in strength, he's going to give you a hell of a day, right? So I think that's basically what happened with me and Larry. Larry is much stronger than me in his upper body. Even when we were powerlifting, he bench pressed way more than I did. I just out squatted him, and squats don't really help you in arm wrestling. So I knew he was stronger than me. That was no question. He's been doing it longer, but I knew that I learned enough to be able to beat someone that has a move like Larry. Larry has one move, dragging hook in tight, which all it means I have to beat these two fingers. If I can get these fingers to open up, he loses all his power. And that's exactly what I did. So
that's cool shit.
If I just dove straight into the hook with Larry and we went bone on bone, that would have been a rough day for me, guys. It would have been a rough day. It would have been a 6-0 match. He would have destroyed me. But that's what's cool about arm wrestling too. Like, you can eliminate someone's power. Just recently, Eric Spoto versus Mike Aiello, a match that I hosted. Eric Spoto is one of the strongest human beings that's ever walked the face of the earth. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
In practice, he rips us all across the table. It's not even fair. Use two hands to pull me across the table. It's just a different breed of just tendons and muscle strength. So against Mike Aiello, I don't know if you guys know who Mike Aiello is, but he goes by Mikey Beach Muscles on Instagram.
Oh, I've seen him.
Real big guy, like 6'5", like total New York, New Jersey dude, tatted, Italian. It's got the New York accent and everything. I love the guy. He's funny as hell. If you follow his Instagram, you'll see the funniest memes you've ever seen in your life. I guarantee it. But Eric is significantly stronger than Mikey. You know what I mean? And but when they arm wrestled, Mikey was able to turn in Eric's wrist and get Eric onto his bicep, which Eric's not stronger. Eric's strong flat hand sideways. You get Eric here, he doesn't have bicep strength. His big ass arms, that's all tricep. That's not bicep. You know what I mean? And Mikey was able to eliminate Eric's power and then do whatever he wanted with him. Made him look like he didn't never arm wrestled in his life, right? And Eric's been arm wrestling for 20 years. And then after pulling, now when you don't have a referee, the pressure's off you, they arm wrestle, and Eric's just doing exactly what it is to West of Mikey, just ripping him across the table. Mikey's like, you're the strongest practice puller in the world. Unfortunately for Eric, practice pulling doesn't mean shit. So he's got to, get his nerves under control and get all that going, so where he can do it in matches, big matches and things like that.
Yeah.
So is all the power here? Is that where you've got to get into it? Is there any power?
It depends on the person. Some, like, I am a top roll, or I post top roll, and then sometimes I do a low hand top roll, but everything I do is outside. It's opened up out here. Then there's people who pull inside, which is more of a hook, and they turn you in and they keep it tight to their body. And that's how Larry pulls. There's hook pulling, and then there's press, which I did against Larry. I pressed him several times because I was avoiding his hook. I didn't want to get into a hook with him. So in the second round, I did jump into the hook with him. He ripped me right across the table and almost broke my damn arm. I was like, oh, okay, I'm staying away from there. Every other time that I would jump up, instead of jumping up into a hook, I would jump up flat hand. Now, obviously, a trained arm wrestler would see all this happen and knew exactly. He's like, oh, Brandon got destroyed in the hook. Oh, look at, he countered with flat hand, and so that's what's neat about it. It's just super cool. If you guys don't follow arm wrestling, you probably look like you have no idea what's going on. Brandon's getting his ass kicked. What's happening? And then all of a sudden the match turns around. Brandon's winning. You gather information as you're going. You're feeling things like, oh, okay, that worked. Okay, I know I can peel through his fingers. Come up. Oh, okay, that didn't work. He's strong there. Let's not go there again. Let's go to a different place. And that's exactly what I did. You beat the hand, the fingers. You beat the arm, and you beat the shoulder. These are all areas that you can beat on the person. You got to find which area is going to be beneficial to you. And then styles make matchups. there's probably Larry could probably beat 10 people that I can't beat, and I can probably beat 10 people that Larry can't beat. You know what I mean? It's just or more, hundreds, thousands of people, or who knows, right? There's just different styles that work better against different moves. And you know, the more experience you get, the more you know instantly what move to transition to beat that move. You know what I mean? It's like coming out of the hole in a squat when you're a newbie. You don't know what went wrong, you're falling over, but when you're a more seasoned lifter, you're like, oh, I'm not driving forward with my elbows enough or my big toes. And these things just come naturally, second nature, because you squat it 10,000 plus times. No different in arm wrestling. As you get more, you do it more and more, and you get to feel different size hands, different angles, different ways they pull, different techniques. You learn how to counter it, or you learn how to deal with it, or you learn how to avoid it, you know. And so the more hands you hold, the better you get. The bear community is like, damn right.
Yeah, fucking damn right. That's not all you can hold. I mean, it is like, when you think about it, obviously, yeah, it's like, it is a combat sport. It's like jujitsu, MMA, etc., etc. The more you do it, the better you get.
Yep. And then, like, obviously, strength is never a weakness, right? So the stronger you get at those movements, the better you're going to be at executing them. Because, like I said, you can be as technical and as good in the world, but the other guy, it's, you know, you could have someone like amazing like Nate Diaz. If he goes and scraps Brock Lesnar, it's not going to be a technical fight at all. Brock's going to pick him up, slam him down, hammer fist his head, and it's going to be a bloody mess. You know, it's the strength is just so much different, right? So no different in arm wrestling. You can be as technical as you want, but if you're not strong in those areas, that stronger dude can just have his way with you.
So we're talking strength, and obviously the forearm, strength in the bicep, shoulder strength, pecs.
Yeah, shoulder pressing strength, side pressure is pressing. You know, that's why Eric Spoto is one of the craziest side pressures in the world, because that monster bench that he has, you know. Larry Wheels, his side pressure was crazy, man. And that's from that monster bench that he has, you know. So that's a big part of it. Wrist, you know, being able to maintain your cup, or just to be able to do what you want with someone's. When you dominate them in the hand too, that's a scary feeling. When you grip up with someone and you're trying to do something and they just force your hand to do something else, you're like, holy shit. Yeah, you're like, damn. And then it's man on man, you know. So it's like, I just let this man do what he wants to me. Like, I don't sit well with you boys.
You have to get used to it though, eh?
But yeah, absolutely. In my case, I'm a newbie, so I'm gonna definitely have to get used to it, especially after winning a big match like that. I got all these killers hitting me up, wanting to matches and stuff like that. Like, you've been arm wrestling for 15 years. Why are you asking me for a fucking match? You know? Oh, because I think it'd be great for my social media. Fuck your social media. What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, think about my feelings.
You're right. I got my own social media to worry about. I can't go out there just getting my ass kicked every day by these freaking killers, you know?
Speaking of social media, is yours blowing up? You've got a brand new bunch of audience now, eh?
Dude, not really, bro. Like, a couple of reasons I'll explain. First off, just as the ground base, arm wrestlers are not on Instagram. I'm all about Instagram, right? Arm wrestlers are more on Facebook and YouTube. So I personally hate Facebook. It's poison. I don't care what this person that I follow's friend thinks that liked this comment and some other thing that had nothing to do with me. And you open up and you get all this shit in your newsfeed. You're like, I don't care about any of this. So, you know, I deleted my Facebook a few years ago. I had a ton of followers on it. I deleted that. And you know, I started back up recently, obviously, because of arm wrestling. And then I stopped posting on YouTube. I started posting on YouTube back, I think like 2015 or something like that. Or maybe 17, one of those. Anyways. But YouTube has changed a lot since then. All my old videos I had to go through and delete because there was, you know, so much shit talking and cussing and vulgar language and things that you can never get away with on YouTube nowadays. So I had to clean up that page. I left a couple videos that were clean up, and then started my new, you know, rebranding my YouTube channel. And you know, I got monetized like a month ago, and YouTube's been doing really well for me. I'm super excited about it. I love it. It's a lot of fun. I get to show more of my personality, you know, because Instagram is more of a, you know, it better suits like the good looking bodybuilders and the females and stuff like that. I'm not easy on the eyes, boys. Like, you know, I'll make you laugh though. And you know, so YouTube's a better fit for me anyways. And I really enjoy doing that. But arm wrestling, or the arm wrestling on Instagram is not big. Even Larry, for example, posts a video of me kissing him in the weigh-ins, messing with him and getting his head. And it's got, you know, over like 1.5 million plus views. I gained like 200 or 300 followers from that.
Oh, shit. Wow.
My throttle's channeled super hard right now. Like I get violations all the time. I got a violation over the weekend that Instagram said one more violation, they're going to take down my channel or my Instagram page. And the violation I got was for someone tagged me in that video. You've all seen it, of like that kid squatting, and then he like collapses under it and like it's squished into nothing. It's fake, right? It's a CGI video.
Yeah.
Someone tagged me, and I reposted it, and I got another strike for that video.
Wow.
For violence.
You can't get
Because I have a bunch of haters, you know what I mean, that follow me, just everything I post, just report. It's just nonstop. So people, a lot of people were telling me that they were searching my channel, clicking on my name after Larry tagged me, and it would say user not available. It's like my channel didn't exist. So they weren't able to sub. I just got told recently my YouTube channel is starting to do the same thing. I go live every Monday and do like a little live show where I interact with the fans, like the people that want to talk to me and things like that. And I go deep into like conspiracy theories and shit like that, and talk about funny stuff. And YouTube doesn't like that, man. So I've been told recently too, my YouTube channel won't come up unless they type in exactly my name fully, the last letter, then it'll show up. Click on my channel, no content, things like that.
It's not just you, dude. It's not just you. It's happening all around the world at the moment. It's happening to all people there.
Oh yeah, well, and they do it to the medium and small level guys because we don't have a big enough audience to cause a big enough uproar, right? Like, there's huge audience, huge channels that push the boundaries way further than I ever have, and they are fine because if they got shut down, they'd have several million people wondering what the hell's going on, right? So it sucks, but it is what it is, right? You just gotta adjust, still try to be true to myself and who I am, and give people good content that they want while kind of dancing that line. And I'm gonna step over it every now and then. It's gonna happen, I'm sure of it. But
it's just your very nature, mate. It's just your
yeah, that's what I do. I'm not
gonna happen, eh?
I can't help it. I'm not a clean cut, by the book kind of guy. I don't know if you've noticed that.
Oh, really?
Right.
So what's next?
Yes.
What's
Biggest
next?
question I keep getting asked. I got to figure out this glute hip injury thing. I can't make any plans till I get this done. When I was in Dubai, I was told that I would most likely be coming back out in 2022. They've released a couple cards for matches in 2022 King of the Table.
Nice.
I haven't gotten the invite yet, but I don't know if it is or isn't coming. But either way, I don't really want to make any plans because I want to make sure that invite comes, I'm able to go without. I'm a man of my word. So if I committed to something else and then something bigger come up, I wouldn't drop that something else. It just would mean I'd have to miss out on that something bigger. So I have to be smart about what I choose to do. And also, like I said, I got all these killers trying to get me right now, and it doesn't help me any to go up and getting beat up by some guys that have been doing it forever. I need to look for that guy that's in my area of experience, in that 1.5, 2 years, even 3 to 5 years, level of experience that aren't too far out of my reach to where I can put up some good matches and stuff. But mind you, like I told you, super matches, tournaments, I think tournaments are probably going to get you the best experience the quickest, because you go up against so many different people and feel so many different styles, and you get to absorb all that information. So I think that's what's best for me, is to do a tournament, I've done a tournament before. It went really well for me. I need to do another tournament and focus on that. I'm hosting another tournament coming up here in February. So right now my energy is going to be focused on that after the holidays, obviously. And then I'll knock that tournament out. I won't compete in my own tournament. Obviously, there's just no way with managing and, just doing that. There's no way. So I'll do that one. Then I'll maybe start thinking about what tournament I want to do. That's local, and do a local tournament, perform well, hopefully, right? And then maybe if I don't get the call from King of the Table by that time, then start figuring out who I want next, right? So it's just too early to tell. We could find out after I get these MRI results that I'm having surgery, and there's none of that going to happen. I could get the MRI results and they say, everything's good, man. It's just going to be painful. You just got to deal with it. All right, cool. I'll start getting ready for the next bout. But I also, I prepped 2 preps in a row. I was prepping for Dave Depew, that super match I had in California. And then I got the call for Larry in the middle of the prep for that. So I didn't really have a time to come off, coming off gear and all that, and let my body just kind of recoup. When I was competing powerlifting, I would prep for a meet, wouldn't drink for 3 months, juice to the gills, do the meet, and then cold turkey, no more juice, and then drink like a fish, right? And party hard. So, and I would just kind of do this throughout the year. And you can see it in videos. It's hilarious. Some videos you see me how big and puffy I am. Other videos you see me how shriveled up I am. I'm like, oh, I think I was partying in that video. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm in this off season, you know what I mean? Letting my body recuperate, letting all my receptors rebuild, you know, working out, but it's not the most serious or crazy workouts, and just kind of maintenance and things like that. And obviously it's the holidays. I just been traveling, visiting family, and we got New Year's coming up. That's going to be, you know, a party, you know, we're going to get fucked up. So after that, then I can really start working on, you know, the healthy aspect of things. I've lost 20 pounds since my match there, which was just a few weeks ago, right? And you know, that's from no longer force feeding. We all know this, it's all about food. I could have ate my same amount of calories, ate more food, and been the same weight, but I just would have looked like dog shit without the anabolics. So cutting the calories down significantly, cutting out the anabolics, and then increasing my like my cardio work, which, you know, my cardio work is like a 30-minute walk every day. It's not anything hard, you know, but I just increase the speed on that and kind of change my workouts and alter my workouts to where I'm getting my heart rate up a little bit more.
We were just talking about that before you came. Like, even that though, like health wise, that's massive. Like, and then you can perform better next time.
Oh, active recovery. It's the best thing for you. Getting blood moving throughout your whole entire body. I was just having this conversation with my buddy who's over right now. He's having trouble, you know, standing for too long. He's getting the back pump and all that. I'm like, I've been there, dude. I'm like, because you don't ever fucking do anything other than power lift and then sit on your ass all day playing on the computer, working and shit like that. Like, I've been there, you know, but I learned that was after 2016. Up to 2016. After 2016, I was way more healthy and way smarter in my approach. I walked my dogs every single morning, no matter what. 30-minute walk didn't matter on what was going on or how it's going, or I at least rode the bike with my dogs next to me. So either way, I was getting moving, getting my heart rate up every single day, breaking a sweat, doing something like that. So I continue to do that, and now I'm in a spot where I can do that a little bit more. So it's fun because I really enjoy it. Actually, I like walking. I don't put headphones in or anything like that. I want to hear everything. And I live in an awesome little town in Boulder City, which is just outside of Las Vegas. Super cool. We're out in the desert. You know, I get to look at all the cool landscape, and you can see for 100 miles out. You know, there's nothing in the way. It's awesome. So it's like almost therapeutic as well, right? So I enjoy doing it. It kind of gets my mind right. And I benefit from it. I know, like, if I get lazy and like if I go a couple of days without walking, the next time I go and walking, it's a lot harder, you know.
Yeah.
You feel it more in the calves, you feel it more in the heart when you're breathing, you feel it more in the lungs, right? So it's just one of those things that if you maintain those little things like that, your body's gonna like it. And you know, you're gonna recover better. Simple as that. You literally will recover better if you do you know, I like to do, you know, like Stan Efferding says, like with a vertical diet, 3 10-minute walks, or, you know, like myself, I do just one big one, just because of my time constraints and things like that. But mind you too, I have a pretty awesome life and pretty awesome job. I have the sickest home gym you've ever seen. I coach clients out of my gym, so I'm moving around, changing weights. I'm always doing something to improve my house. You know, I was being a homeowner. There's always something you can do to improve the house. Maintaining yard work, pool. There's so much shit to do. I'm always doing something. So yeah,
we're gonna see some. We're gonna see some Mark Bell. You're gonna do Mark Bell in person videos, topless walking 10-minute videos, or?
Oh no, I don't think you'll catch me doing that.
Not yet.
I walk and I film my dogs when I walk behind them. They're super cute to see. So
nice.
That's about it. I don't like being on my phone when I walk. I really don't. I like to just kind of, that's my moment where I get to ignore everyone that's texting me, asking for program updates, check this video, show you that. I just ignore it all. I carry my phone on me because in case my wife calls me at work or something like that, right? But I truly ignore my phone when I do that walk. So doing a video on it would kind of defeat the purpose of that little break I get, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, sounds like you got the perfect balance going on. A really good life going on, good location, good wife, good. Yeah, everything's fucking looking good for you, man. So
no complaints over here.
Yeah, no, it's been awesome having you on the show again, man. Really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you guys reaching out. You know me. I always come on. I love chatting with you guys. I love you guys let me talk, and it's fun coming on here, man. Thanks again.
No, it's been absolutely.
That's what we all do, isn't it? Though, you know. I mean, if you enjoy talking, you start a podcast. It's like,
yep. I started a podcast recently. You have your morning BJ.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
it's a fun one. We post the video version on YouTube, and then we do audio on Spotify, and it's coming to Apple Play as well. Just waiting to get verified or something like that.
awesome, bro. We're
Nice.
gonna
Yeah.
chuck
So
it
there's
into our comments.
shameless plugs. There we
Yeah,
go.
I'll do what I got to do, boys.
Yeah, awesome. And we'll help you out.
All right,
We'll
guys,
help
it's
you
that
out.
time.
You take it easy, man. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers.
I appreciate it.
Peace out.
Good to have you on.